Well, hello YouTube! In today's video, we're going to look at why I think the VeveVerse is going to be head and shoulders above the rest when it comes to all other metaverses. But let's get into the main screen, shall we? So we can see what's going on in the world of ecomi and all that kind of good stuff, because to be honest, we've got a lot to go through today. So here we go. Here's the first thing. Serial killers, Frankenfat, gold and silver. If you've got a gold and silver logo, it means you're going to get one of these as an airdrop. So well done to you. If you didn't get one of those, then that means you didn't go to decon or any of the other exhibitions and that kind of thing. You didn't manage to get one, or maybe you bought one on the secondary market. But either way, they're quite expensive at the moment. But if you have got one, there's going to be extra utility, remember, all the time. So, you know, if you like that kind of thing, then maybe it's worth getting one. Or if not, then, you know, it is what it is. But you don't get one of them, I'm afraid, unless you've got the gold and silver logo. Next up is this, Thompson, one of the OG VV YouTubers. He started around about the same time as me, around about way back in 2021, sort of March, February time, I believe, or maybe even earlier than that. He was doing like a spreadsheet all the time for all of the collectible updates. He's got a bit of disillusion with VV lately. I guess there's a lot of things going on in his life as well. He's decided to kind of come away from it, but occasionally puts out little updates, so feel free to go and follow his channel. One of the things he was talking about here is he was saying the thing about when we're talking about VV is that what we need more than anything is not all these OUP updates and all this kind of thing, but we need users to come into the app. And he's 100% right on that. But what I would say about it, and just to put in my little 2 cents, is that if users come into the app and there's nothing for them to stay for, then they will just disappear. You know, I know several friends of mine who don't even go to the VV app because of the fact they're not bothered about the collectibles they hold at the moment. They can't take them out, they're not going up, they just leave them, that's it. However, if we have things like the Master Collectors Program, the OUP, all of these things in the app, in the VV app, that are going to be coming, then it means that those people, when more people come in, are more likely to stay, and that's what we want at the end of the day. We don't just want faces who have a look in and then run away. We want faces to stay. So that's the thing I think about that. But as I said, check out his channel anyway. He's got some interesting views and points of view and stuff like that, and I'll leave it in the comments below. So next up is this, when Lambo. Yes, they finally have answered the question, when Lambo. It was on everybody's lips, and here it is here. They have finally announced, or they have announced that VV Collectibles is going to be having Lamborghinis on the VV app. So they're going to be having several cars, starting off with the blue one, I believe, is what they said. And as you can see, they announced this at decon. Now, I wasn't there myself. I saw the footage of it. I'll be honest with you, it was kind of a bit of a like, I wouldn't say a letdown, but it was just kind of a bit like, because I suppose coming from a magician's point of view, I don't know, maybe this is it, because I like to make things theatrical, etc., obviously being a magician. And one of the things that I thought was a bit funny, but maybe this was just due to logistics or whatever, is that they had all these curtains around the Lambo, and then there was like several people holding on to curtains, and then when they sort of announced, they kind of tried to pull the curtains open as quick as possible, but it took such a long time to get those curtains open that the whole sort of thing was just a bit like lackluster, and there wasn't much of it. But what I think they could have done, which would have been really cool, and that's just to have one curtain that just drops straight away. That's all they needed, and they could easily have achieved this by just putting a piece of string around the curtain hooks and then just letting that piece of string go, and then everything would have fallen in one go. So they could have done something like that. That would have been really cool if they did that, because then that way they would have said, and here is the Lamborghini, and then they would have literally just dropped the curtains, boom, and then everyone is like, ugh, as opposed to everyone going, what's that? Can I see that? Is that a lamp? Is that, what is that? Is that, I can't even see what it is. What is it? You know, and that's kind of the impression I got from it. But apart from that, the actual news itself is really cool. Obviously, the fact that we got Lambos in the thing, is it going to make VV go flying? Probably not, you know, but it's going to bring in some more people because of the fact that certain people like Lamborghinis. You know, there's going to be, now I don't know, here's the other thing as well, I'm not actually 100% sure. I believe Lamborghini have already released other NFTs, so I don't think it's first on the blockchain. However, it will be FAs for VV, obviously, so therefore you can argue how you want on that one, whether you think it's going to be first or not, or classed as first, but either way, that's the situation, and yeah, we've got Lambo, so that's pretty cool. When Lambo? Right now, I guess. Next up is this. Another one that's kind of controversial, I guess, and that is old Banksy. They finally announced Banksy. Now, we've been talking about this on the channel for a long time, since way back in 2021 when we originally saw that little caption, and we've been saying that Banksy's coming. We've been saying that obviously they're partnered with certain people in the industry already. We know that David already holds some Banksy collectible. They're not really Banksy, are they? I'll explain that in a second. But basically they're with Brandalised. Now, Brandalised, from what I can gather, isn't actually Banksy himself, but what it is it's people, or it's a company who have bought the rights to some of his pictures, and then people can then go to Brandalised, and then they can make things based on these rights. So essentially, it's not a real Banksy, but it is not commissioned by Banksy, it is given the rights by Banksy. So I suppose you could argue that, you know, the stuff in like if you buy a t-shirt, for instance, with on, it's not a Banksy t-shirt, is it? It's not. It wasn't actually designed. Oh, it was designed, but it wasn't actually made by Banksy. It's just the actual image itself is a Banksy image, and that's essentially what Brandalised is. So whether or not you say it's Banksy or not, I still believe it's essentially Banksy because they've got the full rights to be able to do this. However, an interesting one that was in the news, and that is now I don't know if this is real or whether this is kind of a thing they did as a publicity stunt as well, because you think about how Banksy does all the publicity stunts all the time. This will be great. It was a Guess, I believe. Now Guess put up in their window in London, and they put up the Banksy throwing the you know, the is it the terrorist throwing the flowers? They put up that one in the window, along with a few other things for Guess, basically. And Banksy called them out on it and said, hey, you don't have the rights to do that. That's my image. You don't have the rights. So therefore, anyone who steals from me, that means that all my followers are allowed to steal from you. So therefore, he told his however many followers he's got to go and steal stuff from the Guess store, which made them shut down in London. Now, the thing is that apparently they are actually already with Brandalised, so therefore they really did have the rights to put that up. So really, it didn't hurt anyone, did it? And all he did was gain massive amounts of publicity in the press and all that kind of thing, because Banksy was calling them out. His millions of followers got to see where they could buy this stuff or where they use this item. And at the same time, they were actually allowed to use it because they were through Brandalised, and Brandalised therefore have the rights to that image as well, or at least you know, put out the rights to that image. So therefore, it's I'm not really sure on that one how that one works, or whether maybe Banksy didn't know about it, but that's a bit silly if that's the case. So therefore, but anyway, I'll let you make your own mind up on that one. Is it Banksy? Is it not? It kind of is. So therefore, we're going to be getting some Banksy collectibles, and I'm excited about that. But obviously, they're not going to be like a one-off Banksy that's worth millions and millions. It's going to be, obviously, you know, people who like collecting Banksy stuff. However, that being said, there's a lot of his statues and stuff that, again, are through Brandalised or through, you know, the plastic statue company. I can't remember its name, but they are obviously worth, you know, £200 or £300 anyway. So I'll be interested to see what they put this NFT out for. But would it be classed as the first ever Banksy NFT? I don't know. There was that one on the internet, wasn't there? That when NFTs were a big thing, you know, like on all the newspapers, where someone actually had a Banksy in real life and they burnt it and made an NFT of it, and then somebody bought that NFT for actually more than the Banksy was worth. And that was a big thing around about the time Beeple came out and blah blah blah. So you know, I wonder whether it would be classed as the first on the internet, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe let me know what you think in the comments on that one. So next up is this. This is something that I was watching a stream with Kay and Akil, and Akil said that this was running on the VeveVerse thing in the background or whatever. Now I didn't know about this because obviously I'm not at decon, but if this is true, this is kind of cool, because basically he says that this is going to be the new play to earn or play to burn Omi game. Which is really exciting. This is Tengoku, and it's called Senso. Now, if you go to their website and you have a look, this is by Avant-Garde Interactive, who incidentally are in New Zealand, so that gives you a big clue as to the possibility of this. But basically, it says that when it comes to the Tengoku Senso, they are not doing anything with it at the moment. They've actually taken the website down. The website's down completely, and they're not doing anything with it at the moment because lots of things are changing. So it makes me wonder if it's anything to do with the fact that Omi or ecomi is essentially going to be taking over. So here is the website itself. As I said, you can't go to this at the moment, but I managed to find it. So if you go to this website and you have a look, then you can see that basically this is the Tengoku Senso. It is an adventure hack and slash game built on Ethereum with NFT items used in the game. So basically you can, you know, you can play to burn, you can do different battles and stuff like that. It sounds really, really interesting as well. And if you look at it here, oh, what's this Omni Slash? I never realised that. Effective way to go about it. Omni Slash. Oh no, not Omi Slash. That would have been cool, wouldn't it? Omi Slash. But yeah, apparently it's going to be the new play to burn game, basically. But I don't know if this is true. We're going to have to find out if that's the case. But there's a playable demo there. If you go to their Discord, you can collect the cards. Some of them are already out on OpenSea already. You can see here that you've got different card games that you play, but also obviously you're going to have fighting in it as well. It looks kind of a bit like a platform game where you go around and killing things. I'll put a little demo of it while I'm talking, actually, in the corner here. And then yeah, you can see there's all these little videos on there and stuff. And then here's the interesting thing thing here, Tengoku is integrated with Polygon to eliminate gas fees. Well, it may still be integrated with Polygon, I don't know. Obviously, you've still got the Epico Regal, who is to do with Polygon, and then you can put your Omi across. So it doesn't really matter whether it's that, or maybe they're changing it all now, and it's all going to be through that other thing. What is it called? Immutable X. That's the word I'm looking for. So maybe it's all going to be through that instead, and that's why they've taken the website down, and there's nothing up there at the moment. But, you know, it remains to be seen. So let's hope and pray that that really is going to be the new play to burn or play to earn game. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, whether you think this is going to be the real game, and try and join their Discord, because then that way you can get a little demo of the game as well. So next up is this, and that is the VeveVerse. Obviously, the VeveVerse has been announced, and I'll be honest with you, I think it looks absolutely awesome. I've played several different, you know, metaverse games, or tried different metaverses. Some of them were very blocky, like really weird blocky. I spent ages walking around one time doing a scavenger hunt for my it was I can't remember what it was now. It was like Degen something or other, and it was like Lions or something. I don't know. I can't remember what it was. It was an NFT company, and basically, or an NFT project. And what they did was they did a scavenger hunt inside this blocky type one, and you could fly around, and you know, you could do pretty much what other metaverses do, but everything was really blockified. You know, everything was really sort of thing. Whereas looking at the VeveVerse, it's not blockified at all. It looks really nice. The graphics look a lot nicer, and you know, here it says here, this is I Help Society. He's one of the VeVe homies. He says, or Omi homies. He says it's Spatial IO rebranded pretty much. So he's got the opinion that it's Spatial IO. I don't think that really matters, and I will explain exactly why right now. So this is pretty much from Foster Hilt. He put up the screenshots, so I grabbed them from him, so that's why I put that up there. So here we go. So these are the things of the VeveVerse that I think is going to make it stand out as well. A multiple device support. Well, obviously, you know, most of them have that anyway. Game engine agnostic, so that means that it can use the two different versions. So therefore, if you've got a really souped up computer, then that's great. If you haven't, then it doesn't matter. And this is the key for me, because cloud streaming as well. Because when they released the VeveVerse demo, which wasn't really a VeveVerse demo at all, it was literally just a thing that you downloaded to your thing, you walked around, you know, a metaverse type idea. It was more of a game, I suppose, collecting little puzzle pieces to try and solve something. And that was when they were supposed to go to Comic-Con, and they had a partner there, and it all kind of went a bit pear-shaped, but they still released it anyway and showed us. And that would not run on my computer. It just would not, because of the fact that my computer is not built for gaming. I bought it for business reasons, and then it was only afterwards that I started doing all this kind of stuff with Veve and ecomi and stuff, and now I need to get a new computer when I can afford it. But for now, the point is that basically what happened was they got cloud streaming, and cloud streaming is absolutely brilliant. So that means that you can use it on so many different devices, and you don't have to worry about having a souped up computer to be able to use it, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Multi-user social capability, so you'll be able to interact with different people. Persistent world, so that means that if you change something, then it will stay the same when you go back again. Avatars, that's a big one. They've got the avatar maker, so you can make your own avatars, that kind of thing. Will they bring avatars of the NFTs later on in the game? Maybe they will. Some of them have got skeletons, some of them haven't, so it will be interesting. Whether or not they need them, I don't know. Judging by the look of the thing when you're walking around, it's mainly a space to show your collectibles. And, you know, I suppose you could say, well, that's a bit, who cares? But the thing is, you can also bring in, now I'm not sure if it says this, hold on, let me just see if it does. Well, levels of access permissions, seamless AR, VR experience, blah, blah, blah. Scripting language, this is the big one, which I'll get back to in a second. Particle system support, not sure what that is. And level of detail support as well. But you can actually bring in other people's NFTs as well, which I think is huge. That's a huge thing, because the people who have like Bored Apes and stuff like that, they at the moment, they just have them on their MetaMask. They do nothing. They do absolutely nothing at all. Well, now they can bring them to the VeveVerse, but not only that, they can also collect what they want at the same time. Now, how cool is it? Because the whole point of the Bored Apes and stuff like that is that you've got to show them off, haven't you? That's the point. That's the point of being in a metaverse, where you show them off. Now, they're going to be waiting for the Bored Ape metaverse, obviously, you know, because that's supposed to be coming as well. But will this be out before that? I don't know. But either way, you know, just judging from the demo that they've done, I think it looks absolutely awesome. So that's the stuff you got there. So let's move on to the next slide here. So this is your friends list. Oh, incidentally, so yeah, the NFTs, you bring in your own NFTs, whatever NFTs you've got, you can put them on your wall. You can basically have your own museum essentially and display all of the things that you want. You know, I've got a a golden dragon girl. It's one of my favourite ones, so therefore I'm going to put that as a nice thing so that when you walk through my door, you've got a golden dragon girl. I really need to get another one to put it on this side, so I'll probably do that just to make it look like, you know, like the two lions on the side. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, so you can do that as well. So you can put your things on the side, you can put it outside. They showed the whole area as well where you can fly around and you can chat to people. So you can invite people over to your pad and you can say, you know, like for instance, if I wanted to do a thing here, look, you've got the whiteboards, the text tools, the drawing tools, show panel, text notes, image notes, sharing, avatars, and follow users. So you can follow me, for instance, and then I can say to you, okay, we're all going to watch this, and then you could watch the YouTube video that I've just done now, but you can watch it in a metaverse. So now that doesn't sound great when you think about it, just who wants to watch a YouTube video, but think of the amount of applications that has for companies especially, and these IPs that are going to be in the VeveVerse, and that is the key right there. That is the key that is going to make this completely different to other metaverses, because you've got your Decentralands, you've got your Sandbox, you've got your you know, so many other ones as well. I can't remember the name of some of them because they really just, they go out of my head, to be honest. But the spatial.io as well. But the thing is that what VeveVerse has that will set it above beyond the rest is that it has the IPs. That is the key right there. It has all of these IPs that people know and love. And therefore, they're not going to want to go to, you know, if you look at the general user statistics of metaverses at the moment, nobody goes in them. I remember I went into this one, there was about 9 people who were playing on this scavenger hunt, or maybe more, I can't remember how many there were. But apart from that, in the entire world, or metaverse world, there was like 2 other people. Because there's nothing to do in these metaverses. There's no reason to go into them, really. They don't have much going on unless there's a specific, you know, like when there's like it's like if you go to a Zoom meeting. You know, you go to a Zoom meeting because you meet up with people, you talk to the people, and then you leave that Zoom meeting. But you don't just pop into a random Zoom meeting, or you don't just pop into a Zoom meeting and sit there on your own waiting for someone to come in. Well, that's kind of how a metaverse is in a way, isn't it? Because you're kind of popping in, you can look around a bit, but then you're like, well, so what? But when you think about it, if you've got you're going to have the VeveVerse Museum inside there, you've also got little other people's places you can go and visit, you can look around. You know, how cool is it when you see, you know, the guys that make the all the Voltaholics, they call them, all those guys that make all the stuff. How cool is it just to look at those on Twitter? You can now actually visit their vault and go in and see everything that they've made. You know, and it's so cool because everything is changeable. Everything is, you know, and you may have this in other metaverses as well. I'm sure you do. But again, other metaverses, if you look at them, a lot of them, people have paid a lot of money for that land. They paid a lot of money for that specific site, so that way they can put up their you know, I've seen some of these where you just walk around and it's like a museum of their NFTs, basically, just various of their NFT designs on the wall, and they've paid a lot to get that little plot. Whereas here, you're actually getting your thing completely free. Now, you can obviously get land when land comes out, and then that will be added to it, and then you'll probably, that will give you extra, you know, whatever it's got. But as it stands at the moment, everybody gets their own, essentially, metaverse without paying anything extra and automatically being part of Veve, which is absolutely awesome. So yeah, I'm really bullish on the VeveVerse. I think it's absolutely awesome, and I think the IP is what is going to push it more than anything, because when you can go into that metaverse, not because you just want to go and have a look around and see what's going on, but because of the fact that, you know, DC or Marvel tweet out, come join us in the metaverse on this day, or, you know, they could do scavenger hunts, they could do whatever they want. They can do so many things that will bring people into that metaverse. And then you've got more people going to the VeveVerse than any other metaverse. And not only that, just everyone in Veve in general is going to be, you know, going to it, because it's essentially your little pad, isn't it? So there's always going to be people in it no matter what. Whereas other metaverses, there's kind of like 2 people in this metaverse. It's always going to be full, because there's always going to be people in their little showrooms, you know, doing stuff, moving stuff around, talking to other people, having little conversations, whatever they're doing. So I think it's going to be, you know, a bit different, to say the least, compared to other metaverses. But, you know, that's just my point of view. Let me know what you think in the chat. So what else we got here? This is the rollout. Q1 is going to be the Veve home space and accessories. So you're going to get accessories. Remember, they are going to burn OMI as well. That's very important to remember. So when you buy those, it's all going to be bought with OMI. If they sell, you know, some of the stuff they're probably not going to sell. Some of it they will. There'll be certain things if you want to put it in your VeveVerse, if you want to show off, if you want to say, hey, look what I've got here, or you just like the look of it. You know, as with anything, there's certain things when you get it for free, and then after that, you can buy stuff if you want to add to your overall ambience of your place or whatever you want to do. So they'll make certain things premium probably that you buy with Omi, which a lot of people like to do because, you know, it's just a couple of quid in Omi. You don't mind. That burns the Omi. That goes from circulating supply. Absolutely awesome. You've got the VeveVerse City, the IP branded worlds. They're the ones that are going to be key. The IP branded worlds, no matter what, that is going to be key, in my opinion. Customizable avatars as well, which is pretty cool. And gamification, finally, the last bit of the puzzle. And it's what we said was always coming anyway. You know, like the cars racing against each other. I've got NFTs for Rev Racing, where I used to go on. And it's kind of like an old style, I guess, NES, or maybe Atari even, going back way then, where you sort of, it's like a one-person view. And you're driving, you're not really driving a car. You're just going around the track and looking like you're driving. Oh, no, you can probably go back, actually, thinking about it now. And you can driving, you know, like you can see the car going out of the track. Impossible, absolutely impossible to do. Very, very difficult. But you know, people like it. You buy your NFT, you can use that car in the game, and you can race around. You know, I got a bit bored of it. It was the same track going all the way around. But the point is that in Veve, you will probably be able to use the cars like your Lambo, like your, you know, your Ghostbusters or whatever. And I'm guessing each one will be, you know, probably slightly better than some of the others as well, because of the fact that a Lambo is obviously going to be faster than a thingy. But, you know, there's going to be so many different things they can put in. And if your car breaks down, then maybe you've got to buy a pack to be able to fix it, or you've got to go to the mechanics and get that fixed. There's so many things. And not only that, incidentally, this is something that Hello K was talking about as well, which he was very excited about, and that is the scripting language. The fact that there's a scripting language in the VeveVerse so that other people can create things in the VeveVerse, and it's a whole new economy in itself, because if you know about 3D designing and stuff like that, you can design stuff that can be sold as well. They will actually sell it through the Veve platform, so obviously they're going to take a commission from it. You'll get some money as well. There's a whole new revenue stream there, right there and then, just for people who are in the VeveVerse to be able to make their own things and, you know, and sell them as well, which is really cool. But not only that, if you want to make a game, you know, if you know what you're doing, if you're like Blockchain and you already made your fish, he's already got those fish. Dan actually had some fish swimming around in the VeveVerse. So therefore, it's already interoperable with other NFTs. So how cool is it to be able to make a game or make a playable something that can happen in the VeveVerse, and that could in turn burn Omi, or that could, you know, there's so much that people are going to start doing with this thing, I think, and I think it's going to go crazy. I really do. But, you know, again, only my opinion on that one. Obviously, Omi is not reflecting in it at the moment. Nothing is really reflecting in it at the moment, because at the end of the day, the thing that's crazy about this is that we are in a bear market. And you know what's funny is that most other companies, NFT projects or whatever, have put everything on hold. They literally are not doing anything. I go to their Discords, there's no one talking. They're not releasing anything. And if they are, they're just saying, oh, you can buy this. And they're trying to get people to buy stuff, and they're not succeeding. You know, they're saying, oh, we've got only 5,000 of these. If you don't get in quick, they're all going to go. And you go the next day and they're going, oh, yeah, so we sold like 2. So, oh, it's probably because people couldn't access it. Let's try another thing. And you know what I mean? They're doing that. Veve are not doing that. Veve are building for the future. That's what they're doing. They're building everything as they go. They're not stopping during the bear market. They're coming out with these announcements constantly. Okay, some things are on hold, like exchanges and stuff like that, but they're still building. And that means that when the bull market kicks in again, and not even that, just when these things are in place, it doesn't even have to have a bull market, because the thing is that Veve is not reliant on crypto people. Veve is reliant on the normal public coming in droves and deciding that they want these IPs as NFTs. That's what Veve is reliant on. And when all these things are in place, as what's it called said earlier today in the thing when I was talking about the influencers, but Thompson, that's his name, we will get people coming in. And the reason we'll get people coming in is because the brands are already there that they like, and they will go into the metaverse to try out something that the brand talks about or whatever. They'll stay around there, they'll have a little waffle with people, whatever, I don't know. The point is that we will get people and we'll get them to stay, rather than just getting them now with advertising and then leaving. Incidentally, on the subject of advertising, there's a lot more to come. We've got things going into stores. They're still talking about that. So they're going to be in like your Tesco's or your Walmarts or whatever. They're going to have them in stores. That's going to be huge. When they start doing that, when they start advertising on TV, which they should be able to do fairly easily with Al Khan's influence. He even said he's got his own TV network where he's planning on doing that. You know, there's so much more coming. It's just absolutely crazy. My mind is blown. This VeveVerse looks really cool to me. Let me know what you think in the comments, whether you think it's as good as what I think it is. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye for now.